You said you to tell me what I'm
You're
pulling up.
live. What's
We
up?
are live from Fresno, California.
And not Fresno, California. What's up, everybody? Just give it a second here. We're going to let people come in. We're on a few minutes early. I am joined by lately my podcast co-host, Linda Yakub. I was kidding. Yakub.
Very difficult to get on.
Say hello. I'm going to try.
Hi.
You like, feel free if you want to talk or whatever, guys. I'm going to try to tag you on this post here. So just give me a second here. I'm going to see if I can do it.
And I'm very new to this, so
you're what?
I'm very new to like this platform, so all I know and all I see is you.
Okay, let me see here. I'm doing edit post. Oh, you know what? It might actually let me add you. Boom.
Okay, because it looks like I'm just talking to you.
Yep. No, but I got you there. We're
good. Which I'm okay with, you know.
Well, we just did that for the last hour and a half.
I do that all the time. Yeah.
A truer statement has never been made. What's going on, everybody? We're going to give everybody a minute to get in here. We're starting a few minutes early just because I wanted to avoid the overwhelming number of messages from people saying, "Where are you? I don't see you." So hop on in here. As always, guys, comment below. Let us know where you're coming in from. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. I'm probably more excited about this than most things we've ever done just because it matters so much. And we got cool giveaways too. Not just like free stuff into what we're doing, but also like fitness stuff. And I guess I'll let you describe because I'm not even sure what it is we're giving away, but I know we're giving away some stuff.
We have some fun stuff. We've actually partnered with a certain brand.
What brand do we partner with? Let's just say it. What brand do we? We'll say it again. But what brand do we partner with?
Okay, it's HydroFlow. So HydroFlow is a brand that we partnered with a giveaway that we're doing. It's super sweet. It's kind of fun. It's just, it's simple, and I don't know. It's always nice to have something free. I love free stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I
have their bottle. You and I had already partnered with them, so we already have their bottles. So that's awesome. Guys, again, as you're coming in here, just comment. Let us know where you're coming in from. We'll have some contests, some giveaways, and then we're going to get straight into content because we've got some really cool stuff to share. And honestly, this is such an important topic. It's health, like health matters. And I'm excited about this almost more than anything we've done in the past, just because it matters so much. There's nothing more important. So we're going to give it a minute here. Let everybody come in. As I always say, comment, say hello to people. You guys are an awesome community. Share it. This is for anybody today. This is not, how to get listings or something like that. This is everyone who wants to be healthy, healthier.
Family, friends.
Call it that. What's that, babe?
Group. Family, friends, anyone.
Anybody.
Literally. Anyone.
It's everybody. This isn't, it's anybody who wants to get healthier, including us. Like, we're in this too. Like we are fighting this good fight every single day. And, we'll talk about that. As I say, with a stuffy nose, we're all in this fight together. So, as you're coming in, guys, just say hello. A lot of you know each other already, which is super cool. So say hello.
This is really cool. So I have to say,
can you see it or no?
No. Okay. I was stuck on the private chat. I was like, I can't see anything. And then I switched over. This is so cool to see so many people on here. And I recognize a few names too, which is nice. But yeah. And you have sunny Florida. I'm like, it's sunny over here in California too. It looks like Jared's in the dark. This is great.
We're starting with it. All right, here we go. I'm just here. I'm here on my pond, just figuring it out.
Oh, there you go. Hey, we have someone that's near your pond on the podcast.
Oh, do we? Look at that.
Same demographic. I'm not going to say it.
All right, guys, one last time because we're going to get started here. You guys know I like to start on time. This isn't going to take forever today, but I think it's going to be super helpful for so many people. A little bit different than what we usually do, for sure. And I'll explain to you why we did that. And again, like I said, in emails and other things and social and other things going out to so many of you, whether you decide to join us on this journey in January or not, there's going to be a lot of value here today. Linda's going to prop herself up and tell you that she's not an expert and all this other stuff. But then you're going to listen to her and you're going to be like, oh, you sound pretty expert to me. So from where I come from, she sounds like an expert. But Linda, you want to say hi to everybody? Linda is my lady, but also a lot of you know her.
Linda Yakub here.
Go
I'm very excited I'm really excited to jump on, share a lot more about me. I don't think I've ever shared my story, really. And so this is going to be fun to really have this conversation with you and also with everyone else. Feel free, though, and we kind of will monitor chats, and feel free to like ask questions. We'll filter through them, but I'm really excited to
We'll stick around
um
to the end,
allow you
but
guys to get to know me. Yeah,
a lot of people don't know
it'll be
this.
fun.
You hate me when I say this, but Linda used to be a
What?
bigger girl. We'll say bigger than she is now. We'll talk about that. And I think that matters
I
because
feel
I know
like
you don't.
I feel like we should have a script, and I should look at the script and approve it before you just say stuff like that. You
Problem is
know.
you want to prove that kind of stuff, but that stuff matters because a lot of people watch this and they want to know, like when you start
Hmm.
talking about being healthier and everything else, it's nice to know that you're listening to people who aren't just naturally, that way. And
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people struggle in the area of health and wellness. And some people want to lose weight, some people want to gain weight, some people look like they're
Hmm.
in great health, but they're really not. Because looks aren't everything when it comes to what's actually healthy. And so we're going to share a little bit about that today. We'll share a little bit of our stories and what we're doing and what you really need to be focused on in the new
Yeah.
year, because we do all these goals and resolutions. And most of the people who listen to me, it's all about business and that stuff. But the truth of the matter is nothing matters more than your health. So
Hmm.
right off the bat, before we get started, one last time, I'm going to tell you guys we have 2 contests today. One contest is going to be an actual giveaway of stuff, meaning we've
Hmm.
got water bottles and workout stuff and all this other kind of stuff that Linda's going to tell you about. But right off the bat, I want to say that we're also, for the small group that we're going to invite people into at the end, and whether you're in that group or not, you're still going to get a ton of value today. We are going to give away 1 free pass to that, though. So if you're watching this right
Hmm.
now, you just need to make sure you like it wherever you're watching it. Comment below and tag someone who cares about their health and should be here right now, and then share it on whatever platform you're watching on. And then we're going to check back at the end of this weekend, and we're going to pick a winner. And whether you sign up or didn't sign up, if you signed up, we're going to refund you and put you in. And if you didn't sign up, then we'll just put you in for free. But that's going to be our first comment. So like this wherever you are, comment below and tag somebody who should be watching, who wants to take their health serious in the coming year. And make sure you share it on whatever platform you're on. And then we will pick a winner by the end of this weekend. Sound good? You ready to get started?
Perfect. Let's
You
go.
ready to get started? Everybody's ready? I think we're ready.
Let's just dive into it.
All right, sweet. So guys, this is, as I said, this is something that is a little off, people call off brand of what we've always done. Although if you've really followed me for a while, you know that I do my hashtag did you sweat today all the time, too much. I'm like over it. But then if I stop doing it, people reach out and they're like, did you
I know
today?
people are calling. I just saw Bo on there. Did you sweat today? Like they'll
That's
call you out.
yeah.
Now.
Yeah. And so it is on brand if you actually knew us
Yeah.
personally, as far as what we do every day. I'm a big believer, and I've said this for years, guys, diets don't work. Diets, everyone I know who's been on a diet has been on 10 diets, has been on 15 diets. The basic idea of a diet, sticking to something, like that's a great idea. But anything that's just so far off course that there's no way to ever stick with that, that's when you see people ballooning up and down, right? And I think you and I both have a track record here. We both have very non-conventional lives, very difficult from the perspective of, staying consistent, eating, exercising. We travel a lot. We have very busy lives. And yet we have a track record of decades of keeping this on track and really staying on course. And, a lot of people who follow me, especially people who have more recently followed me, my story when I was younger, I was always just naturally thin. Like I was just that guy. Different people have different body types, right? And then when I got to be like 28, 29, I was always like a worker. I worked all the time. I worked all day. I would just hustle. And then I'd come home and have like a gallon of ice cream and all of my day's meals for the day and whatever. And that was perfect till I was like 28, 29. And then all of a sudden, I didn't notice it. I never even thought of it. But out of nowhere, I'm at a picnic, and one of my old high school friends comes over and puts his hand on my stomach and says, "What's that?" Which I guess only guys could do to other guys.
I mean, the only hand on my stomach was when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
say,
I
oh,
was,
did I touch? Did
there
I
was no
touch?
kicking. There was no kicking. Like there was no, this was
Yeah.
back in the good old days. Like I was not able to be with child back in whatever year this was. And here I was, and I'm just like, what the heck? And he's joking like guys do, but I'm looking down, I'm like, oh my God. And I might even, guys, we'll see how much pressure I get during this call. I took some screenshots of some videos that I did way back then that are unlisted now. They're not available, where you see me getting a little Macy's Day Parade, we'll just call it.
Wait, they're actually
Okay?
unlisted. You unlisted them?
Of course I unlisted it. Okay. Now I've got a couple screenshots from there where again, I'm not, hey, 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 like, like that, but I'm definitely a little thicker in the face. The waist, I was hiding it, but it was there. And so I went back and I weighed myself. Now, look, guys, I belong at 175. I generally, like, this, babe, like I range between 173 to 178, right in there. I was 204. And I was just
Okay.
like, what the heck? Like, what is going on
And
right
how
now?
tall are you? How tall are you?
6'8".
I just need to know.
I'm 5'10", five
Okay.
foot 10. All
Okay.
right. So you know that you know me, like I stay like right in that range. And so
Mhm.
that was like a wake up call for me back then. That's when I started doing the Did You Sweat Todays. That's when I started really getting
Yeah.
really serious about fitness, eating the right things, like all that kind of stuff. And I learned then that like my environment did not support what it was that I was doing. Like I learned then that when I got hungry, the snacks that were available to me were not the best snacks. That I just had really bad habits. And
Mhm.
we'll talk a little bit more about that throughout this call. But really turned that around. And that was the first time my eyes were open to the idea that our society does not really support a healthy lifestyle. Like if you're healthy, the whole system makes less money on you. It's not good,
Mm.
right? And so we'll
Mhm.
talk a little bit about that. But that was a wake up call for me as a guy, and something where I've had to be very consistent, even in a lifestyle that's not easy to be consistent with travel and all of those things. But if I can do it, anybody can do it as well. And so when you and I were talking, I'm gonna get to you with your story in a second here. When you and I were talking, we talk a lot about these things, lifestyles and fitness, and we keep each other accountable to make sure we stay in shape.
Mhm.
And I mean, technically everybody's in shape, right? Just some are a pear and some are a banana. But like when we talked about that, we finally just came together, and I think it was your idea. You were like, babe, what if we did like a group? We brought people behind the scenes with us, brought them into our world, and did like an accountability thing and said, hey, not just each other. Like, what's more important than helping, a group of people finally
Uh-huh.
get their health under control so they feel better about themselves, so that they, aren't killing it in business, but really in their head,
Mhm.
they've got a lot of bad narratives because they just know they don't like how they look. They don't like how they look when they get out of the
Mhm.
shower. They don't like what they see when they're talking to somebody. They're self-conscious about it all the time. They're wearing clothes to try to hide things. They're always trying to work towards the next vacation. I got to get in. I got to get, whatever. And you said, what if we did that? And at first I went, ha
Mhm.
ha, and I kind of laughed it off.
Well,
And then
let's
you
be
brought
real.
it up.
At first, you went, "Ha ha," and laughed it off because it was right before the advance. You're like,
Wasn't even listening.
I
Yeah, I
don't
was just
really
like,
wanna
yeah.
think about that."
Yeah. And then you brought it up again and you brought it up again. And then
Yeah.
I was like, shoot, that's a great idea.
Mhm.
I'd like you, before we get into what we're actually doing here, I'd like you to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about health, because I want people to get value here, whether they join us or they don't join us. I want you to tell your story a little bit, and then we'll kind of jump off of that, because I think sometimes people see you, and you don't like to say this, but you're gorgeous, and
Mhm.
I think
Thank
people
you.
see us together and they just kind of think that you just wake up in the morning and the birds just pull your covers off and whatever. Why don't you just kind of tell your story a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I'll jump in and out throughout, and we'll talk about what it is we're going to do with everybody to really help them in the new year. So tell us your story.
Mhm. Yeah, a little bit about me, and this is somewhat relevant, so I'm gonna share it now. I am one of 4 siblings, first generation immigrant here, born in the US, Mediterranean, which literally did not live the Mediterranean diet. So I'll talk about that, which is probably the healthiest diet, right? Um,
My new favorite food.
but oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually, my health wasn't an issue like for me, or nor did I realize it until about grade school, junior high. So here at junior highs consist like of sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. Sixth grade is when it actually hit me. But before I even knew anything about it, like looking back, I remember this is so bad, but I remember waking up in the morning and breakfast to me was like always a Coke or soda. I would always have that. It was always cereal of some sort, super quick, nothing nutrition at all. It wasn't a thing for me. Um, and whatever snacks I could pick up on the way out, was something I don't know why I remember that, but it was what I did every morning. Um, but I was talking to you about this, and 2 things in grade school and 6th grade really, like, stood out to me. Number 1 was, we had our physical fitness, our PE, like, test, and you had to do all these things, in a certain amount of time, whether it's pull-ups, push-ups, and they would test you, they would watch you, everyone's doing it together. And I could never pass, never. My we joked about this a little bit ago, but like my
It's funny
mile
too, because you're an
time,
athletic girl. Like it's one of the things I love about you.
yeah,
Like we do
yeah.
things. You're an athletic girl. You just didn't have the
My
athletic body type at that point.
no.
Yeah.
I remember like they even weighed us. Like I remember looking at the scale and weighing 172 in 6th grade. 172 in 6th grade. And then I remember running the mile. I could
So
not even finish the mile
basically,
in
babe, just
16
to be
minutes.
clear, because you're much smaller than me, you weighed like me now, but in 6th grade.
Oh, in 6th grade.
Holy
I
cow.
remember wearing size 14 pants.
Size
And
14 pants. By
I
the way, I don't know if you want
yeah,
to say this now. What size pants do you wear now?
it doesn't matter, but it fluctuates. It's not 14.
You're not
It's
gonna say it?
it's 2. 2. But like if you look at me, why do you look at me like that? On a good day, it could be 0.
The 0
It
to 2.
doesn't really
That's
matter.
exactly right. You're literally
No,
like,
but
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but listen to this. This is what's important though. Like I looked at that scale and literally it's engraved in my head, which could be a bad thing because even today, and Jerry you could say this, babe, I'll look at myself in the mirror and sometimes I look at myself as a 172.
Yeah.
And that's where we talk about like a healthy mindset, right?
Yeah.
There's gut healthy and then there's mind healthy and then for me spiritual healthy. And so but that is a completely different thing, the mind side though of stuff. And so I remember looking at that scale and then I did not pass my mile at 16 minutes. I went over 16 minutes and it could not. I was just winded. So walking it was too hard for
It
me.
took you 16 minutes to do the
Um
mile?
it was so I mean, I don't know. I think they stopped it at that point. I was like, I don't even know if I don't
Did you
know.
start in the wrong
Well,
direction? Like,
oh gosh, it was awful. But you know what? That didn't affect me as much as a freaking heartbreak, babe. I had a heartbreak with a guy that had no idea that broke my heart. Okay, he
I'm gonna
broke
have to
my
sit here
heart
and
and he
hear
has
about
no
some other
idea.
dude. Is that what's going on here?
Yes. And so what happened was one day I begged my mom to ride the school bus home. This is 6th grade too, so same time frame, same weight, all of that. And I begged to ride the school bus home because I knew that the hottest guy in school did, and I knew exactly where he sat. And I'm not sure why. That was the only like talk about confidence level. That's great that I thought that he would sit next to me or acknowledge me. But mom said yes for the school bus. I got on early and I made sure I sat on the edge of the seat so no one would sit next to me. No one besides this one person. I'm not going to say his name, but like, let's just call him Patrick. Okay. So he sat, and so, anyways, he passed me, didn't even acknowledge me, didn't look at me, and it was the biggest heartbreak like ever. And I actually even scooted over for him, and I looked at that as like Linda, like I can't even love myself. I'm not acknowledged by others, which probably wasn't a big thing, but 6th, 7th, 8th grade kind of is like being acknowledged with friends and all of that. Anyways, and so I really decided to make a pivot in my life. And at that time, cell phones were not around. Um, I only had the library and I had my science class. Literally, that's all I had. And I decided that year and my 7th grade year, that I was going to really study like the mind and study. Um, I was really into marketing, so looked at marketing and also nutrition. No, I am not a person that loves to study the human body. I'm not a doctor by any means or anything like that, but it was super fascinating. And I think at that point, after studying and kind of diving deep into it, I decided to change the way that I was looking at food and what attracted me to food based on um, psychology and based on marketing tactics, which is super interesting, which we'll actually talk about like in a little bit. But
How
so
old were
that's
you when you started getting serious about, like, looking into that stuff and realizing that, like, everything
yeah.
was just unhealthy and you're just, you had an unhealthy relationship with food, you had an unhealthy relationship with your body, you had an unhealthy relationship with what health was.
Mhm.
How old were you when you started getting serious about that?
It
And
actually
again,
was
for
the
anybody just
summer of
jumping on now, I just wanna make sure they hear, like, you said you were, 12 years old and weighed 172 as a
172, 6th
5
grade.
foot, what are you, 5 foot
Well, I mean,
4?
now I'm 5'4". I'm not even sure what I was like
Yeah, back when you
then.
were 12, you were probably like 5 foot 2.
I
That's
remember, but it was going into 7th grade year, I believe,
yeah.
because I wanted to be on the volleyball team. I really wanted to like
Yeah.
I felt like having a presence somewhere would be great. And so, but in order for me to do that though, you would have to try out.
Yeah.
So my summer is when I really started just letting go. Now, I didn't have access to a gym. I didn't actually work out at all. I walked. So working out was walking, and then my diet, quote unquote, was really just saying no to certain foods. It wasn't a nutritional diet that was like,
You didn't know
I mean,
what
we
you know
didn't
now. You know basically just starve yourself. Like just do
know,
yeah.
and quite honestly, like we grew up very, very frugal and poor. So a lot of things were processed, right? So we didn't really, or we had a garden in the back where we could get vegetables. But like it was very just basic. And so when I was looking, what's super interesting, and this is very fascinating for you guys as well, and we'll talk about more of this like late in our accountability group. When I was diving deep into nutrition and how the mind is triggered by certain foods and then marketing, I realized real quickly a theory that is out there that's called the ketchup and mustard theory. I'm not sure if anyone actually on here has ever heard of this. And if you have, I would like for you guys like to like raise hands, thumbs up, whatever, because I'm super curious. It's a ketchup and mustard theory, and Jared's going to pull up this on
Do
the
you want me to show,
screen.
is this the red and
But
yellow ketchup mustard? Tell me if this is the right one
yes,
here. Is
yes.
this correct?
Okay, yes, absolutely. Now, this wasn't the one that I specifically read about, but the ketchup and mustard theory is super fascinating because there are certain colors that trigger certain um, signals in our brain that actually want us to crave food, even when we're not hungry. And this is very important to understand because I'm going to pull in marketing tactics in a little bit. So it says fast food chains from McDonald's to Taco Bell utilizes various colors to influence potential customers on a psychological level, which is true. So the think of red, right? Red, we look at urgent, we look at stop. It grabs our attention. Stop signs, red lights. You know, we have you have red lights on a police vehicle, ambulance vehicle. Those are triggers to stop. It's urgency, and then yellow is a feeling of comfort. And so you put these two colors together, and what happens? All we want and all we crave are every single fast food chain out there. And so I told Jared this. And so when I realized this, my biggest craving growing up was like I loved donuts. Now, if you're on the West Coast, Carl's Jr. and In-N-Out was like my thing, McDonald's. But I'm gonna have Jared pull up some brands, and it's super fascinating. Every single one of these
Is this the
brands
slide you're looking for?
do it. They do it. It's all a marketing tactics, and they know that the brain is actually they gravitate to these colors. And so when I studied this and I realized this, I quickly, which is so weird, just completely just said nope. Anything red and yellow, I'm not touching, and that were these signs. And so I'm not doing that. And what's really interesting, all of these signs will also have drive-throughs. You will never have, I guess minus like Subway, maybe. A lot of healthy places, sandwich shops, like very organic places will not have a drive-through. And so I've also made sure to like gravitate from places that actually have drive-throughs. And all I knew was this. They weren't healthy. Like the red and yellow was trying to get me in there. I didn't know anything else besides that, right? I'm not a dietitian. I didn't know anything else. And so I shied away from that real quick. And that was my number one. My second thing was sleep. I was so sleep deprived. I never had enough sleep. And everyone knows, and we all know this, probably the two best things to do to help with like weight loss, even like muscle gain, and just the fogginess of your brain and all that to go away is really just sleep. If I want, I think it's 8 hours of sleep and water, right? And I was lacking both of those. And so I knew that I needed to sleep and I needed to drink a lot of water. And so I incorporated, honestly, babe, just those three things. And then minus walking, I would walk. So if I wanted to, if I was driving and I parked somewhere, I wouldn't be circling the parking lot for a really close parking spot. I would go ahead and park and consider that cardio and walk. I would park far because I just didn't have a gym membership at the time. So I would park further and consider that walking a part of my exercise versus circling the parking lot for the closest parking spot. And so a lot of it is just telling your mind this and practicing it daily. And what I knew was, um, this wasn't a get fit quick. It's not a diet for me. It literally has
Right.
to be a lifestyle. Because
Right.
if I got off of this, I knew exactly where I would be again. And I didn't want that. And so I've incorporated this into a lifestyle for me that works, that I'm able to every now and then. I just told you, like, babe, last night I wanted a sweet. Like I had a sweet tooth. I wanted something, but you know what? I was able to get it because I worked out. I deserved it. I had enough water for the day. I went to the gym. I'd had enough steps. And so I was able to have a cookie.
Yeah.
But it's a lifestyle that I've had to really adapt to. And then and it has been great. I also do have very, very, very high cholesterol. So I am literally a walking heart attack. So I have to make sure that I just don't eat fried food, junk food, very clean as well, just so I can live a long life for the sake of my kids.
Talk about for a second, because
A little bit about that.
you were actually huge with one of my sons, actually, with like teaching him about sugar and like how basically all these companies, what they do is they learn that we're trying to be healthy, we're trying to be whatever, so they learn new words and they learn new things of like, hey, now it's sugar free, and now it's
I mean,
and so we
how
all
many
do
of
this
us
stuff
order a
because
sugar-free?
part of the problem is like when you talk to the
Yeah.
majority of people, it's like, yeah, I want to be healthy. I don't even know what I'm supposed to eat. And every time I think I'm doing something good, it's no good. Yeah, I wanna work out, but I don't even know what to do when I get in there. Like I don't even, whatever. And talk about the idea of like, we have these companies that they learn what it is we're trying to do. And so they're like, oh, you want to be sugar free? Well, here you go. And then it turns out that it's like, oh, this is worse than what I was doing before, but we all think we're doing well, which again just adds to
Yeah,
more health problems. Can you talk just a little bit about that? The stuff
absolutely.
you were telling my son and like,
Sugar-free actually is probably one of the hardest things for your body to actually digest. And so, um, quite honestly, not even only sugar-free. There's a lot of foods out there. It's super hard for your body to break down. But Bo actually added on the message here, even added sugar. So you might see zero sugar, which is the actual sugar, like the actual product,
yeah.
but they add stuff to sweeten it, right? And that is literally just adding toxic to your body.
What was the drink
And
I was
it's
getting at Starbucks that I thought I was doing good? I
Oh,
would
I
get
think you were just doing a non-fat, sugar-free
no, I was doing like a sugar-free
latte.
caramel
Non-fat,
macchiato or
sugar-free
something.
caramel. I don't know,
It was something
but
like
it
that. And it
sounds
turned
good.
out the
That's the
sugar-free
thing.
caramel macchiato was actually the additive, the sweetener was worse than just getting the
Absolutely.
sugar.
Mhm,
And so now when you guys see me do this is literally what is it? A non-fat, what do I get? A venti
mhm.
non-fat latte. Like
Non-fat.
that's it. There's no sugar, there's no,
Yeah.
whatever. But even
Mhm.
that, like I do the non-fat milk. You found that with your particular
Mm-mm.
body, you're like, I don't do dairy. Like for the
I just
most part.
yeah, I you women, our bodies are different, milk and dairy actually retain has causes water retention, right, and bloating. So the first thing that anyone would say, or any dietitian would say, is like, "Hey, cut down dairy, right? Reduce your dairy intake on that. Reduce your sodium intake because our body holds it differently." Um, so I've implemented that, and then quite honestly, like my body for all the traveling that we do, and you see this too. If you do travel a lot, and talk about inflammation, I mean, in just from the altitude level too. And so, especially when I'm traveling, my diet completely changes because I
Yeah.
already know by the time I hit ground over there in Connecticut, I'm already my water retention is probably 3 pounds, 3 to 4 pounds, and I'm swollen. And I tell you that all the time. And so, I take more water, less coffee. Caffeine reduces your metabolism. So if you are a coffee addict, you know what you could do to trick your mind is get a decaf, right? And so this way that your metabolism continues to be working throughout the whole entire day. And so I have just learned, it's so weird to say this, but I've learned to play mind tricks like with myself. Like, oh, I want this, but you know what? Like I'm going to do it this way so I could still have it, but not like slow down me burning calories throughout the day.
But babe, hold on. Get
So,
back to that for a second because you were talking to me recently about the idea of sipping on something hot versus sipping on something cold and how that affects your hunger. And like, guys, this is crazy, but like there's
you
all
guys,
sorts
I
of
have
studies
so
about
many
this kind of
tricks for
stuff.
people.
Yeah.
I
Like,
know.
but I think this is the stuff people want to hear about. Like, we're going to talk about Guys, do me a favor, hit yes, write yes in the comments if you want to hear about this, because like this kind of stuff, to me, these are the tricks people like to hear about, because you can essentially be doing the same things as other people and yet having a completely different effect on your body, where one person just completely bloats themselves, makes themselves big, does whatever. The other person gets the same effect on their brain, the same, and yet doesn't do that, right?
There's a couple things. Okay, I want to share 2 things, and
then I'll tell them what we're doing, and then we'll continue to teach.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Totally. So number 1, Jared was here in California last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week. And we were just grabbing a drink. We were grabbing a drink and having sushi. And our bartender, Olivia, great girl, we always go to the same place every time we come in here, had a cup of coffee, and she was sipping on it. The reason why she wanted the cup of coffee was to stay awake. But I turned over to Jared and I said, and I was telling her too, if you are craving something and it was late in the evening, late at night, and you are just craving something, one way to trick your mind is actually to drink something of warmth that's hot. The longer you sip on something hot, your body and your mind is going to tell you that you're actually working for your food. It's going to take you longer. It's going to make you fuller. So coffee or hot tea is always great to substitute an opportunity for you to snack on something. So I've always done that. Or something that makes you work for your food. So you're out and about. I don't know. I always go to peanuts right away. For cracking and like working for your food actually makes your mind trick you also that you are now tired. You're tired of eating, right? Because you're working for your food constantly. I look at crab too. I always tell you, I hate going to crab like feeds because I don't want to work for my food. And by the time you work for your food, you don't even want to eat it anymore because like you're done, like you're done with it. But it really is just a mind game on that point. Secondly is we are, back in the day when they used to hunt for their food years and years and years and years ago, they used to hunt for their food. When did they hunt for their food? During the day. They didn't hunt at night, and they killed it during the day. They cooked it during the day, and they ate it during the day. And so I used to always say, and this is very difficult with the whole time change, only eat and consume your meals during daytime. That's probably the best time like to actually eat and digest all of your stuff, because naturally our body slowly shuts down when it gets darker. And I know it's difficult for those that work later or have graveyard shifts, but it's just what they've done in the past, and science shows it. And so I've always stuck to that as well. But these are just little nuggets here and there. And everybody's body is different. I understand that. This is stuff that happens just to work for me, work for you. And what I've also shared with Noah.
Pattern on a daily basis, though, that quite honestly allow us, because look, if anybody were to follow you and I around, I think we have a good balance. Like I want everybody to understand the difference between like what we do and what we're going to do with this accountability group with so many of you, and like, your average diet or something like that, is that, look, we still do our Friday night going to bin 100 and ending the night with an espresso martini and having a chicken parm and doing whatever. But we're able to do that stuff because of everything that we do beforehand. We're able to do that because of the consistency that's within our diet, so that when we do something like that, it's more of a shock than anything. And it kicks our metabolism into gear. Whereas when you look at the other way, other people are very consistent too. They're just consistent on the other end, where it's just when you actually do something healthy, that's the shock to the body. And, it's not difficult to do once you get into a pattern, once you have some accountability and you create that pattern. But that's why we talk about, like you and I always talk about, lifestyles over diet. The newest and latest diets come out all the time. And yet the thing that always remains is the lifestyle that people have,
Absolutely.
Anyway, I want to get into a little bit more of that, guys, but I know a lot of you are here and we are a half hour in. So I want to tell you just flat out what we're doing. And then we're going to get back into teaching and giving more pointers and answering questions. We're doing this really like nonchalant, like we want to help even the people who aren't going to be a part of our group. We want to help as much as possible, and just kind of share some of the stuff we've learned and the stuff we're doing. And she knows way more about this stuff than I do. She'll tell you no, but it's just the truth. And she also downplayed going from a 16 to a 0. She's, Linda will always be like, I don't look good at, no, you look great. Like but what looks even better is that you've worked so hard. And that what I love about you, and you said this to me the other day, is that you're like, Jared, I'm not one of these natural, like, hey, I get this way or whatever. You're like, if I stop pattern, I go back. You know, this
Yeah.
is lifestyle for the rest of your
And it's
life.
frustrating. It's frustrating. And you hear me say that. Like I get mad. Like, okay, quite honestly, like I feel like, and I joke about this, like you could probably binge eat for 2 days and then go to sleep and wake up and you're 6 pounds lighter. I'm like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, how does that work? Like, how do you lose weight so quickly?
Wait,
And
wait, you
I'm
talking
over
about me?
here.
You talking about me?
Yeah, you like I feel like guys lose weight so fast.
This is where
Um,
she's full of complete
but like,
nonsense, everybody. Okay. I'm
no,
over here
it's the
working hard.
no, it's the truth. But like it is a lifestyle. It is a true lifestyle. So you're either all in or you're not. Like
That's
that, and
great.
that's it. And
That's
so
great.
yeah, I've decided to kind of go all in, but at the same time, live life. Like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
We have to have a balance.
and
It's got to be
recognize.
for something.
Mhm,
It's got to be for something. All right. So here's what we're doing, guys. I'm going to explain to you what it is, and then we're going to get into more training here. But just for those of you, because I've seen some people write in here. So what is this? How do we become a part of it? Here's what we've decided to do for a small group of people, which is going to be really cool, guys. We're going to take you behind the scenes with us, like unprecedented access. Like we're going to work with people.
mhm,
This is like probably the most important thing we'll ever do as far as helping people get healthy, helping people feel good about themselves, helping people be around for their kids and their grandkids, helping people create better
mhm,
patterns for their kids to see and for the people around them. I don't know that there's anything that's more important than that. You know, it's something that drives me all the time. When I tell the story in the past of why I started doing hashtag Did You Sweat Today, it was all about my boys. You know, for me, it's all about them and being around for them and setting the right tone for them and showing them that it's a sacrifice, but it's what you need to do. So here's what we're doing, guys. If you look at that link that's below you, I believe wherever you're watching now, it says jaredjamestoday.com/get healthy. Somebody could post that in the comments. That'd be great. It's our site, jaredjamestoday.com/get healthy. Here's really simply what it is. Okay. We're hoping people are going to do this together. But if you do it as an individual, it's literally one-time fee. This is super cheap, guys. We are trying to make this so affordable for everybody. It's just $197. That's it. We are saying that for a minimum of 2 months, we have a private Facebook group, which is just for those people, which is going to have all the documents we're
mhm,
about to talk about, all the accountability, all the live streams, everything we're about to talk about for literally $197. We'll probably go on longer than 2 months because it becomes a community. But what we really want from people is, if you do it with someone else, couple, whatever, a friend, whatever it is, it's only $297 total for the both of you. Okay. And what that's going to do is that's going to put you in our group, the private Facebook group. Once you sign up, you're going to be brought to a place where you're going to be asked to join the group. And then what
mhm,
we're going to do is a couple things. Number one, everybody who joins now, who's watching this right now, we are going to put together for you kind of like a grocery list of like, here's the stuff you want to be buying. Here's our favorites. What does Oprah call it? It's like
I don't know. But it's pretty
Oprah's
much like what's in our pantry and what's in our fridge, like
correct.
almost at all times.
So however
What does
Oprah does
Oprah call
that,
it?
we're going
I
to do
don't know.
that. But it's basically, yeah, here it is so that you can start off because we're going to officially start this January 1st. Like our first live stream
Mhm,
in our group, our Facebook group is called Get Healthy with Us. And we're going to be doing trainings every week, talking about in depth about things like food and
mhm,
exercise and those things. We're going to be bringing in people who are examples that you can look at. We're going to be bringing in struggles and how you overcome it. We're going to be in that same group. We're going to be putting in like workout plans, you know, as far as like, you know, what kind of things can you be doing? I'm a man, she's a woman. We do different things. But then we also do exercises together, and you can see kind of how we mix it up when we do a similar thing together, how she mixes up compared to what I'm doing. So we're going to have some meal planning in there, some different, you know, grocery shopping. What are you looking for? Some tips for like when you're talking about snacking and those kind of things. What do you do? We're going to have workout ideas. We're going to actually do some live streams or some videos of the workouts as far as what's actually happening. And I always think about, I know I've got my man Max on here and Anthony, two of our coaches when we were in Atlantic City. You know, I went to the gym
he
with them and I
literally
was
just
doing,
called you out right now. He
what do
just
you, what
said,
do you
"Derek,
say? What do you
into
say?
the floor routine."
Yeah, the floor. Yes. Max, I'm getting you the floor routine. Max texts me just about every week going, I need that floor routine. So, Max, I'll get you the floor routine. But like we did these workouts together, and, you know, Max is walking around and he's like, I feel amazing. He's like, I don't know why I'm not doing this. He's like, I just don't even know what to do. Like, what is that? What's that called? How do I do that? And so we're going to really kind of share all of those things with you. We're going to have a daily accountability, meaning myself or Linda will be in there posting every day what we've done, you know, where our struggle was, and everybody's just going to kind of fall in line with that. We're going to be personally available in that group to go back and forth and really see people do well. As I said, live streaming. the trainings, the Q&As, the workout. We're going to have contests going on. We've got giveaways that are going to be going on. We've got even, should I show this? When you first go in, you are going to, let me pull it up here. You can explain these better than me.
Okay, so I'm
a
visual person. So I like to journal, see progress, and I love checking off things. My personality. And so I have decided to share something that I have used in the past to really track my exercise and to track my wins. Like I mentioned, I love checking things off. So it's an accomplishment for me, checking it off. So we have this as a journal.
Which one do you want me to show? This is the journal. What do you want me to show?
This
or
one's
something
fine.
else?
We'll start with this first. So we are, like Jared mentioned, we are going to share exercises. My exercises, his. I have 2 little kids at home too, so I will also show some home exercises as well if I can't make the gym. I will show that as well, but you could obviously do your own. On top of this, outside of what Jared and I are sharing, we would love for you guys to also share. That's the whole point of this whole entire group, is to collaborate with everybody, like as well. So if you find something that works for you and would like to share also, feel free to do that. But that doc is literally for you to keep track of your workouts and what you're doing. And it's a great tracker. The second one is like health habits, is what I called it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and
by the way,
snacks.
guys. These are all fillable documents.
These PDFs are fillable.
So, yeah.
So what do you have for breakfast? I'm not asking you guys to write down the whole entire recipe, but just mark down what you guys have. It's good to see what you're consuming. Like, it really makes a big difference. And then your water intake as well. Now, if you guys want to individually, like, want to reach out like to me or to Jared and get some feedback on like, well, how much water should I be consuming? Like, this is my goal. And you want to share your goals, by all means you can. We are not asking you to be as vulnerable like as we have been with your fitness goals. But it is always nice to have an accountability person to hold you accountable to those goals.
Yeah. And that's, by the way, babe, that's what this is right here. That's the thing everybody's going to start with, is that fitness goals. You're going to start with your start date, your start weight, your BMI, body mass index, like all of these, for those of you that are willing to do that. And if you want to share in the group, great. If you don't want to share in the group and you just want to send to us personally or send to your partner or someone like that, that's completely up to you. But the point is, we have to have something to work off of. You have to know what it is that you're going against. And you can't just say wait, because there's a difference between, like you talk about this all the time, the difference between the weight and then, actually doing well. Do you want to explain that?
I could mention that at my leanest, I wasn't my lightest, right? Because everyone knows that muscle weighs more than fat. So I could lean up and be super thin, and the number on the scale is perfect. But then I want to build muscle. I'm probably going to gain another 8 to 10 pounds of muscle, most likely. And so it is all different. So if you're looking at leaning and losing weight, I would recommend to also like measure, which does take time, but measure and track inches versus pounds on that as well. But those are things that we could always work on when we get into this group. But I would absolutely love to help you guys kind of get going on that as well. But this is really just, those docs are really just for a starting point, whether or not you want to use them. You might have an app that you're using instead, which is great. But this is just something that we could provide to you to get you guys going.
Yeah, and I think that's part of like what we need to understand too, is in this group, we have set things that we're going to be doing, but I can't stress this enough, guys. Like for me personally, I don't get to do a lot of small group things and whatever. Everything's always massive and all these people and whatever. And so what I'm really excited about is that, the people that are in this, we are committed to you. Like, we have our set stuff that we're going to be doing on a regular basis in that private group that only the members are allowed to be in. But at the same time, there's going to be things that come up, and there's going to be all of a sudden calls we do on there, or that you're reaching out to us and we're helping you with something, or someone has a specific question we think is great for the whole group. So we open it up and we show them, here's the snack we're making here. Here's the thing to do here. Or you struggle with this. We've dealt with that here too. Here's what you need to do to get over that. Like, we want to make this a community at an extremely affordable cost, where, great guys, we're going to have all of our, New Year's goals. And, I did a whole business planning thing and, all of that stuff that we are passionate about. But again, what does any of it matter if we aren't getting our health in order, not just for now, but forevermore? Like Linda said, like if she stops, it goes backwards. It's not natural for me. If I stop, it goes backwards. And so what a better legacy than to be able to take people with us and bring them along and get to help them in that way. So just go to that jaredjamestoday.com/get healthy. We are going to limit it, meaning I can't have too many people in there because then it becomes not small anymore, which is really kind of, I think, what we want to do. It's what our heart is to be able to focus on people when they're struggling or when they have a question or when, whatever. We want to be able to focus and make that part of our legacy this year of like what we're trying to do with people.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Want to mention one last thing though, is we are doing challenges and contests throughout this 60 days as well. So there'll be fun weekly challenges, maybe accountability challenges, 2-week challenge, like anything. And so we have a handful of those.
Babe, what is the real quick though, guys? If you have questions, post them in the comments right now. But babe, what was the giveaway we're doing also?
Shoot, I wish I could.
It's for the cups and the exercise stuff.
So, yeah, I do have a giveaway, which I will post also on here. But it's a yoga mat, is going to be a jump rope. We have some ankle weights or like wrist weights, whatever you want to use them for. And then we have 2 water bottles. One is an actual shaker. So that's a couple things that Jared and I will be sharing in the group are supplements that we take to actually supplement like protein intake. We're not taking enough protein. So what we use for protein powder to substitute that. And so, or vitamins that we take because we're not taking enough or absorbing enough vegetables or fruits. And so anyway, so it comes with a shaker and also a water bottle to take to the gym.
Yeah.
But so super cool. I will actually post it. And like I mentioned, HydroFlow has partnered with us on this giveaway, which is very exciting. And so we have one winner for that.
Yep. By the way, I see a question. Karen asked, do we need to belong to a gym? No, you don't. In fact, that was one of the funny things when I was working out with Max and Anthony. Max was saying to me, he's like, I don't even need to go to the gym for this. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. Like, you absolutely don't. Now, I'm going to tell you, I personally like going to a gym because I am a sauna addict. And I love ending my workout.
Thanks to yours truly.
Thanks to yours truly. And I love ending my workout and just leaving that place looking unrecognizable. It's, it's one of the joys that I have of this world. But, no, you don't have to be a part of a gym. And again, another thing I want to push here, and I really want to stress is, when we're doing this with people and we're answering questions and we're showing them what we're doing and everything else, everyone's going to have a little different thing for them. Like, babe, your diet is different than mine. One of the things she mentioned that we'll talk about in the group is, we use a company, for example, where we were asked a lot of questions. We answered a ton of questions. And then they sent us for the next 60 days our vitamin intake each day because they knew based on the answers to the questions where we were deficient. Whether we were deficient, in vitamin C, whether we were deficient in our fruit intake, or whether it was our vegetable intake, or whether it was sometimes it's very difficult to tell someone, hey, you need to add 8 things of broccoli to your meals every day. And it's like, I can't do that. I can't add 8 things of broccoli, So one of the things we do to stay healthy also is not just the stuff we're doing on a regular basis and keeping the good snacks and, eating the right meals and all that stuff. We also, look at outside sources and say, okay, where are we deficient? Where is your lifestyle deficient? Where are you personally? And so we'll be sharing that with you too, the places that we go to, the places we use, all of these things to really, again, just kind of get an overall health and make that a focus for so many people.
I mean, you're right. We cannot consume enough vegetables and fruit to even account for what we actually need. Like, we literally can't do that. And so this is why we need those multivitamins.
Babe, are you near your fridge? Can you grab one of those protein drinks?
It's the cutest thing, real quick though. This is the little vitamins, and we'll send all this information in this group, but it literally is customized.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda. And it'll give me a fun fact about nutrition, about mindset, something like that on there as well. And I have 7 pills that I take, but this is enough for me to make sure that I get all my vitamin C, vitamin D, all my fruits and vegetables, helps with my gut in general. And so I take that with my
literally you take it out from the bottom over 30 days and it just goes to the bottom. Yeah. It's a little dispenser.
I mean, it's easy. And then Jared has his protein.
Can you go to your fridge? Can you grab one of those protein drinks?
Yeah.
Just grab it. Go. It's all right. Our people don't care. Just go for it. I want to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about, because a lot of when you talk about these protein drinks and these other things, they're so full of sugar that you think you're doing a good thing. And you might as well just be eating a Snickers bar. Like it's no different. So like, for example, there's a lot of different flavors, but you don't have to do this one, but this is the kind of stuff we'll be sharing with you. These are the protein drinks that both her and I drink that have 40 grams of protein and 0 sugar. Like, look at that. Hold that up real close
There's
there.
there's different flavors too.
40 grams of protein. I think yours is a cafe.
And this is already this is already pre-made. So we have this just to grab and go. And then I have my own protein powder. If I'm actually going to like blend up some spinach or blueberries or and oat milk. Honestly, I don't think this is dairy free, but we have 2 options. But
my kids
like
like
what you were saying though, it's just easy and simple. And quite honestly, if you want to cut weight and lose weight, you need to absorb enough protein in order to do that.
And you need to make it easy. Like you need to be able to reach into your fridge, grab something. And like I said, that's 40 and it tastes delicious. They have like so many different flavors and we don't like get any money from promoting them, but like, 40 grams of protein, 0 sugar, which is very difficult to find. And it tastes good. Those are all the kinds of things that we found that we want to share. One more, somebody asked real quick there to sign up on your website. The link is literally right below you. If you're watching us on the screen, it's our website, jaredjamestoday.com/get healthy. So jaredjamestoday.com/get healthy. If somebody could write that in the comments, that'd be great. Again, we're going to limit this to a small group of people just because we're making it super cheap. It's only $197 for an individual, or grab your spouse, a friend, a partner, somebody. 2 people is going to be $297 total for the 2 months, which is crazy for the amount of time and what we're going to be putting into you guys. But the idea, and by the way, if you do the couple one, you're going to fill out the first page and then it's going to go to a second page where you put their information in. Then you'll go to the thank you page. But it's honestly, guys, going to be the best value of what you're going to have coming into the new year here. We're super committed to it. We'll be sharing a lot of things like this and more with what we do. We might even tell you, like, we have these little cheat pills we do that when we know we're going to have a bad day, we have a little trick
we
for
do
you.
Have cheat pills. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you shared that already.
That is only for members of the group.
Yes, we will not tell you that what those cheat pills are. And
Linda also introduced me to those, but if we knew we were going to go have a couple drinks and some bread, she's like, baby, this is what you do.
The whole purpose of the cheat pill is for those days that are very carb heavy, like carb overload. And so, yeah, if we're going to have a couple of chicken parms and a drink and have a final, right? Then we
you once again introduced me to this whole final idea. I've never heard of that in my life, but babe, what was that company we used for the vitamins? Someone asked, what is that company we're using for the vitamins?
Yes, it's called Care Of. So you can go to their Instagram handle is @Care Of, or I'm pretty sure
CAREOF.
No, it's CAREOF. Yeah, I mean, it is a lengthy survey, but it's super important to take and be honest in the survey. They will have some suggestions for you, and then you could add to that. So let's say you're having, so like they're going to say, okay, great, this is the top 5 pills that we are recommending because you're not getting enough vitamin D, vitamin C, you're not consuming enough vegetables, whatever the case may be.
Are you waking up in the middle of the night and not getting a full night's sleep? Are you getting
specific.
Like they ask you all those kinds of questions? They're like, okay, here's where you're deficient.
Yeah. I'm anemic, so it gave me some pills for being anemic. It asked about cholesterol level, and I'm extremely high. So they actually have some pills for my just heart in general. And so I do want to stress this out too. For those that are taking like a prescription medication of some sort, you might want to consult with the doctor before taking any of this. This is just something that Jared and I are able to do because we're not on any prescription meds, and want just to take a multivitamin of some sort.
For us, it's By the way, you sent me a picture. For those of you that were wondering what it looks like, I'm going to pull it up right now. So the other contest that we're running, where one of the people who signs up, we're going to randomly pick a winner and give them the what do you call it? The bundle or whatever. This is the bundle. Is that showing right now?
This would be a great, this would be a great for
like a ninja outfit. Are you kidding me? You have like a baton. Like, what are these nunchucks? What is this?
Super. It's a fun giveaway to give. Great.
So they get 2 bottles.
Take to the gym. One is a shaker for protein shake, which is wonderful. I actually use the shaker. I take a green drink every morning to help with my overall gut. and I use the shaker for that. Or I have a little
What is this? A
blender
baton? If
under.
you're getting in too good a shape and men are like hitting on you at the gym, what is this?
No, those are ankle weights or wrist weights. These are
Okay.
great.
All
Great
right.
for
All
walking.
right. And then a jump
You're doing
rope.
some boxing, jump rope. You can put on, yeah. It's just
All right.
a thank you gift. So,
Oh, all
um,
right. Yeah. So we have that coming.
mhm,
Should have given that to us.
yeah,
I want that.
I'm very excited about this. I
Yeah.
think, quite honestly, like this is going to might sound weird, but put us in a different level of motivation as well. Like it's gonna be
No
it's a
doubt.
good win-win.
No doubt.
Hmm.
Why do you think sometimes I still go to the
Very
gym and I don't
excited.
feel like it when I have to do my hashtag Did You Sweat today? Because I know I'll get a million
Hmm.
messages from people who are like, Did you
Yeah.
go? Did you whatever? And it's, the greatest way to be held accountable is to hold others accountable, right? And so
Yeah.
I want to make that clear, guys. We're in this with you too. So like we're going to be in this group, and like I said, we're posting our stuff. We're posting what we're doing. We're
Hmm.
posting the struggles. We're posting. There's more than one time where, my God, we show up at the gym. We're talking to each other on the phone. We stay in the car for a half hour talking to each other, and then it's just like, I'm just going to do the sauna today. I'm not going to do, like. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
happens. But the difference is that the next day we show up again, and the next day we show up again, and the next day we show up again.
Hmm.
And when we have those days where, like I said, we go do our chicken parm and a couple drinks, whatever, that's not day after day after day after day after day. Like we make sure the pattern is
Hmm.
going in the right way. I've said it for years, like life is math, right? You have to look at everything as a +1, -1, and you're all trying to reach that equilibrium or getting above. And so when you go and have New Year's Eve, and you go hog wild, where you're stealing a cop car and whatever, you better make sure you know what that next week looks like. January 1st
Hmm.
better be just as tough in the gym and being just as tough with how disciplined you're being with food, because once you get on that pattern, that's when the plus starts going the wrong way, right? And so that's where
Hmm.
accountability comes in, is that it's okay to take a wrong turn. You just can't keep going down that way. You got to get back
Yeah.
on track and then stay consistent. It's not about perfection, right? It's
Hmm.
about staying consistent. And, I think
Yeah.
about even, I mentioned how I worked out when I was in Atlantic City with Max and Anthony. Anthony, one of our coaches, messaged me about, I don't know, a month or a month and a half before the advance. And he's like, Jared, he's like, I need to lose 20 pounds before the advance. Like, I need to do it. Like, he's a hold me accountable, like whatever. And so we started going back and forth, and I'm messaging him. I'm like, hey, what are we doing today? What's going on with this? And he's like, what do I replace this with? What's that snack you had over there? And I just start answering these questions. And then we're about a week out from the advance. And he's like, well, I've lost 20 plus pounds. What do I do now? I'm like, well, you create a new goal. And it's crazy how
Hmm.
simply changing lifestyle, it's amazing how many of us don't realize how unhealthy our lifestyle is. Like how we just grab soda like it's nothing. We just grab things
Hmm.
with sweeteners like they're nothing. We just never make the gym or exercise or just sweating as part of what we do. And what we want to do is bring light to that and show you how quickly things can change when you change the way you're doing things. You change what you're doing every day, which is all that we do. We're not superhuman. We
Yeah.
just follow a different path.
Absolutely. And
That's
I
it.
think the best way to do it and get started is actually in community, like that's the
Most
best
important
accountability.
question. Someone said, "What's a final final?" Would you like to answer that bit?
Okay. And it's like, you go out to dinner and you have a drink or two, and then you leave the restaurant, you close the tab, whatever you leave.
Mhm.
We'll always say, hey, you want to do a final final? Meaning
We?
that last one. That's the last one. Oh, like that's
She's like,
hey,
"We'll
let's
stop
have
by
a last
blank, do
one.
a final
Let's have a
final.
final
We'll go
final.
by blank, do a final final."
Good. And so now it's been so funny because he uses that. Hey, final final, final final. Yep, there's
That's
always
great.
a
That's
final
great.
final. So we'll close
Now I
out one
say it now
tab and
because
just
you
open
say
up
it. Yeah.
another.
Hey, what are your favorite snacks?
Um,
Sierra, how you doing, by the way? What's your favorite snacks? And Sandra, I see,
hmm,
just signed up. Awesome. I can't wait. Like I said, small
I
group
do.
guys. We'll be letting you into the next thing we
Yeah,
want
I'm
to do
so
is join
excited.
that Facebook group, and we'll let you guys in. But what's your favorite
Okay,
snacks?
while I grab my favorite snack real quick, um, someone did ask Jared about like, how if an office wants to sign up or a team wants to sign up, how does that look? And I'm gonna grab
Do it
my
2 at a time.
snack real
Honestly,
quick.
because we can't, I'll be completely honest with you, we can't do cheaper than what we're doing. Like for 2 people, we're saying $297. I mean, I hope you guys understand, like for what we're going to invest into you for the next 2 months, probably more, because we're going to be invested with you and we're going to want to keep helping. That's just ridiculously cheap. So I would just tell the people, sign up 2 at a time on the couple portion. Do it that way. If it's something where like you just want to get everybody in and not go through the process of signing everybody up, just message me on social with like a list of the people. I'll have somebody on my team reach out with like a credit card authorization thing. We'll get everybody in all at once without having to do going through the process. It depends on how many people there are. If that's easier, then we can do it that way too. Just message me, but do it soon, because again, we're going to close this down. It is something where this isn't like, hey, come all, like whatever. Like, we want this to be something where we can really focus on the people who are in it. We want to have an impact on them. We want to remember them. We want to remember, what we've done, and really relate to people and connect with people, and really, like I said, let you behind the scenes into our lives of what we're doing in a way that I've never done. I don't know if you've ever done, but kind of bring you behind the curtain and say, this is what we're doing on a regular basis. Crap, I screwed this up today, but now I'm going to go fix it by doing this. And now I'm going to, we're all in this together. So I see a lot of you saying just signed up. That's awesome. What are your favorite snacks?
Okay. Favorite snack, go to. I don't, we don't endorse them either. And you guys might hear this. So if you guys have heard of this, like, let me know. I'm super curious. Chomps. And baby, I think you've seen this like in my bag when I travel quite a bit. I get the smaller size. I don't get a large stick. But these are not processed.
Keep talking. I'm going to grab my favorite snacks. I'll be right back.
40 calories, 4 grams of protein. It's amazing. The kids love them too. If you are pregnant, ladies, this is absolutely safe to have also. But these are my go-to. I always have them in my purse, always have it in my travel bag. Jerkies. They also have turkey, which I am out. I'm obsessed with the turkey. I'm just a turkey fanatic. I am not, because of my high cholesterol, I stay away from a lot of beef. Beef is like literally a treat. So when Jared and I go out, or we go somewhere, I'm a steak girl. So I treat it as a treat for me. But I do a lot of chicken, a lot of fish, and a lot of turkey. And so chomps. And then I do a lot of nuts. And so I grab this on the go as well. I want to mention something though. Like, people are asking about snacks. When I had a family member from Australia actually come and visit here in Fresno. And something that she said stuck to my mind also is when we went out, we had dinner, and they gave her plate of food. And she said, oh my goodness, no wonder why Americans are obese.
Portion
and I'm
size.
like, what do you mean? And she's like, you guys literally fill up your whole entire plate with food. That's what you guys do. And you put it in front of us. And she's like, no wonder why. And
tell them what we do, babe.
We literally, this is a mind trick. We literally get a small plate and we fill that up, or Jared and I always share. We split everything. So it's 2 different things. We'll get a small plate and fill that plate up.
Split the wedge salad, get the steak, split it.
We'll split something. But it is crazy because a lot of us, actually, I had a friend of mine who grew up very poor also. And his mindset now is like, if there's a plate in front of me and there's a lot of food, I better finish it because I might not eat again.
It becomes competitive. Mentally, you're going to finish it. You're going to keep
literally
trying.
Does. And so he has had to change also his mindset to something that I actually introduced to him was like, no, why don't you just get a smaller plate and fill that plate up? And then you'll have the same like fulfillment and fullness too. So like, anyways, keep that in mind when you guys are also out or plating yourself some dinner. Fill up a smaller plate. It really does help a lot. But those are my 2 snacks. Jared has a snack.
I'll name a couple of them. I'll name a couple of them. But again,
we will have this on our list of stuff though, babe, right? Groceries.
Yeah, well, not only going to have it on our list. Like, what I plan to do is, like, with the people in our group, I'm going to actually record and show them, and so are you, me making my favorite snacks, like what I'm doing.
Yes.
So for my favorite snack actually came from you. Guys, I love fruits. Like, fruits are delicious, right? So like Linda taught me this thing where like you take like a rice cake, you grind it all up, you put it over peanut butter, you put it over yogurt, which I now went to.
It's not really grinding. It's like this.
And then you mix
not a
in
grinder.
with the yogurt and the peanut butter and the rice cake, like whatever fruit you like. I did one right before we got on here. I did banana, blueberry, strawberry. My kids love it, by the way. It's so healthy. And originally I was using just normal Jiffy peanut butter. Now I use this Professor Nuts peanut butter, which is just 0 sugar, like just so healthy. I don't taste any difference. That's one of my favorite snacks that fills me up completely. Like, I can have that and be good until dinner. I'm a big peanut butter cookie guy. Okay. So like I have these Quest peanut butter cookies. Okay. 15 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. These suckers I reach in, and they're now, for those of you that like candy, look at this. These Quest crispy chocolate peanut butter flavors right here. These are so freaking good. 18 grams of protein. Let me see here. Sugar. You get to my age, guys, you got to worry about sugar, right? 1 gram of sugar. Okay. And literally, when I tell you this tastes as good or better than any candy bar I get in a store or whatever it is, completely healthy.
Mhm.
And so it's not even like, look, yes, we've trained ourselves to be very disciplined. But even in the areas where it's like, no, I need something that tastes like candy right now, like I want whatever, we just do it with the right stuff.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how often I go by and I eat 3 pickles out of the fridge. I'm like, pickles, just pickles, or I just make a thing of tuna fish or whatever. And it's just protein or it's just whatever. You just learn the
Yeah.
habits of where what you used to do, grab a Coke, stop for fast food, grab a bag of chips, grab a whatever. Like all of that, those patterns, some of those patterns can remain. You just got to learn to reach for the right thing and retrain your brain to
Mhm.
like it. Like I'm convinced that if we didn't teach kids when they're young that, if they were bad or whatever, we're going to make them eat fruit, that we would think fruit was a dessert because it's delightful.
Mhm.
Okay. And so it's just retraining the brain. I've got so many of these. We'll be going through all of this with you guys. I'll be actually in our group. We'll be actually making these things, showing you how they're done, and really just helping you change your lifestyle. And
Yeah.
then in addition to that, whatever you guys ask for, or you pull more out of us and you're like, well, what else? Whatever, we'll do it. Like we're committed to the
Mhm.
people who commit to being in this. We're going to commit to you.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm more excited about it than almost anything because I can teach business and listings and entrepreneurship. I can do that all day long. And we will probably do some of that. But this to me
Oh,
is just
really?
so important. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
Mhm.
that when we're in there doing some of our
Oh, I'm
Q&As,
sure too.
we're going to ask us
It's gonna be
stuff.
a lot more of an intimate group, which is gonna be super nice. They'll get, yeah, on that. Karen said that peanut butter is her weakness. Right away, my head goes to, I guess, my weakness also, but it
Karen, I
really
love
is because
peanut butter.
no, the reason is though for me though, I'm anemic, so I have an iron deficiency, and so when you crave peanut butter, it might be because of iron levels too. So
Yeah.
it's just interesting, like when I see that, like, oh, I wonder if it's because of this, or like if you chew ice, it's also another
Yeah.
iron deficiency.
Yeah. And look,
Anyways,
at the end of the
I'm
day, look,
super
peanut
excited
butter,
about
I
this.
love it. Peanut butter cookies, peanut butter, I love it. That was a peanut butter snack there. Someone said, what do I drink? I'm not
Oh,
sure if you mean
like alcoholic?
final. Yeah,
I
I
know.
know. If you mean, so in my regular day, I'll answer both questions. I do drink a lot of water, but I have to force myself to do it. Like Linda will tell you, like I have one at my bedside. I
Mhm.
have one like I have to force myself to drink. I get up in the morning and I chug water. You guys don't understand how important water is. Like you think you're gaining weight because you're getting like it's so important. So I drink a lot of water. I drink when I go to Starbucks or a place, I get a non-fat latte. No sugar, no anything like that. Occasionally I'll do a tea. And if I do a tea at the house, I'll either do it just with a little bit of milk or I'll put a little milk or like, what's the sugar that I use? It's like the brown one.
It's raw. It's raw sugar.
Yeah. Raw
Yeah.
sugar. I'll do something like that. When I have a drink, like a beverage. So my bad one is we always start with a Zing Zang Bloody Mary, Tito's Bloody Mary. But then I always switch over to, if I'm going to have a drink, I usually do, and this is a weird one. You guys probably haven't even heard of it. I do a Tito's unsweetened iced tea with a lemon. And it is delightfully refreshing and has no sugar. Obviously you can do the boring thing of like a Tito's Club Soda or something like that. But I do a Tito's unsweetened iced tea with a lemon. That's kind of my go-to. I'm not really into. I used to do like double IPA beers and stuff, but those are obviously so unhealthy. And so I kind of got away from those. Now I don't really do beer ever. Now look, guys, when I go on vacation, I act like I'm on the Green Mile. You know what I mean? Like this is my last week on Earth. Okay. But I do that because I stay strong all year long. And so, you got to learn to do that. So I think that answers your question. If it didn't answer your question,
His
let me know.
final is an espresso martini, though.
Yeah.
That's
My
his
final
dessert.
is usually a Tito's espresso
Mhm.
martini.
Yeah.
That is, I was introduced to those about a year and a half ago, 2 years. That's my dessert because I don't order desserts when I'm out. I don't order desserts. I don't have bread. I don't, like if Linda and I are together, a lot of
Which
times
I
she's like, I
have the
want bread.
bread and I have the
Yeah.
dessert. Yeah.
Yep. She's my weakness in that area.
Mhm.
Where, she'll love that stuff. But again, she
Yeah.
stays strong so long that like when we go out, she's like, hey, I want a piece of bread. You got to live life. Okay. Nobody's saying that you have to be some crazy off the rail, you know, whatever. The reason why a lot of you can't do that right now is because the rest of your life, you're being so out of line with what's healthy for your body. So you got to create new habits. Okay. I think that's it. Is there anything else you want to say, babe? Is there anything else? I did not expect to keep people here for over an hour, but anything else? Any other questions you guys have? Anything?
I'm excited.
One more time, guys, jaredjamestoday.com/get healthy. It's below us right now. We're going to take a limited number of people. Don't just do it yourself. Get someone to come join with you guys, and then you'll join that Facebook group. Once you're in the group, there's not going to be a whole lot in there right now. We will be jumping in there in the next couple of days, adding videos, getting prepped for January 1st. We'll be adding the grocery list. We'll be adding all of those things. But get in there, say hello to everybody, introduce yourself. This is gonna be a really cool journey and one that I'm so excited for. What's gonna be better than seeing people like looking better, feeling better?
I mean, the opportunity to celebrate wins, you know, is gonna be it'll be fun. But also to be there for those that are struggling, right?
Yeah.
I saw someone earlier on here that said, yes, men lose weight faster than women. My husband lost 20 pounds and I lost 1, right? But it's like it's really just being like that motivator, that supporter. Like I cannot wait to really kind of dive deep and get to know you guys more.
Nonsense right now, okay? Us men work our butts off to lose that weight, okay? Spewing nonsense.
Anyways,
we always
I'm excited. Real quick, babe.
5 pounds just by thinking about doing it, okay? Which is not true at all.
Okay, last question though, real quick. Is there a deadline to sign up?
I'm kind of just looking at the numbers, to be honest. I'm going to look at this when we get off here. We'll probably cut off in the next couple of days. We have to cut off. We have to cut off in the next. We have to because we're coming up on the 1st.
Right away.
No. So I think you and I are going to get off of here, just kind of regroup and figure that out on what that is. But yeah, anyway. Super excited, guys. This is going to be cool. And I think Linda's downplayed a little bit how far she's come, if I'm being honest. Okay. For those of you that have met Linda or whatever, she's beautiful, gorgeous. I mean, just, you know, whatever. And you would never think that she was a 172-pound 12-year-old. And it's such a testament to how much
you saw a photo of me. So
I saw Fat Linda. Oh, yeah. I saw you. I saw you. I'm one of the few on the planet that has seen that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I could probably less than 5 people have seen that photo. But
you had to show me on 2 pictures, right? Isn't that what you told me?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for jumping on. Really appreciate it.
Guys, we'll end this with you. We can't wait. We'll be a lot of fun. Honestly, for those of you that we get to know, I think we're a lot of fun. We joke around a lot and whatever, but we are interested in seeing you guys do well. We appreciate you being on. For those of you that are still on here, like we said before, tag someone that needs to be involved in this. Share this, guys. It's one of the more important things that we've done. And who knows, if this works out well, we'll keep doing stuff like this because I think, like I said, I think it's important. So with that being said, I'll check this afterwards to see if we missed any questions. For people who do join and they're in that group, although we'll be posting workouts and we'll be posting live streams of us training on stuff and talking about stuff and bringing on people who are doing well and what they did and all that stuff, because it is in a Facebook group, the beauty is that even if you can't be on live, it'll be recorded and it'll be right there for you. Okay. So everyone will be in there. What I do ask is for those of you that join, you know, like we talk about, don't be a secret agent, don't be a secret member, you know, don't, you know, get in there, comment, encourage people, tell us your wins, tell us your, you know, the stuff you're struggling with. Like we want this to really be a community where that happens. And that doesn't happen by hiding out in the corner. You know, you got to be vulnerable. You got to be present in order for this to work. And the benefit of that is that we all are going to do better. So anything else, babe? Oh, nope, someone said
Happy New Year's.
Someone said we love you, Linda.
Happy New Year's. I'm excited to jump into this January 1st.
All right, guys, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
First, and that's my, no, real quick. That's my birthday week too. So it's going to be extra special.
So we'll post in the group all of the bad stuff you're doing that week.
No. Anyways, thanks everyone.
I will post, guys, for all of you that join, that's my promise to you. On her birthday, when we're all out with our friends and stuff, and she's posting there going, you know, I'm doing good on whatever. I'm going to take some behind the scenes video and show you what's really going on. Okay. Like what's really happening on her birthday. Okay. So, hey guys, Happy New Year to you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I almost said Merry New Year. Can't wait to go on this journey with so many of you. Get somebody to do it with you. We love you guys. We can't wait. Toodles.